Hello, good day everyone, and welcome again to my blog. So, I don't know where to begin right now on what just happened to me a couple of hours ago. I'll be honest, if you already read the title of my blog right now, so you definitely have an idea on what just went by. So here's the details. First off, I was put off, or not well, no, not put off, but I was actually more like summoned on the conference room of this ship by the chief officer a couple of hours ago. It's something about signing appraisal reports on my report. Basically, if for everybody's information, the appraisal report of seafarers is kind of more like, say, a report card. So if you already have your, say, report card when you were still in the academe side, like, say, grade school, high school, college, whatever, etc. So anyway, that's what happens. I was called into the conference room of this ship, and it turns out just to sign my appraisal reports coming from our Ukrainian chief mate. And as it turns out, when I visited the conference room and read my appraisal reports, I was not happy on what the Ukrainian chief mate wrote about me. It's basically something along the lines that let's just say my report card says that I have a score of number 4, which basically translates that I have a very low and poor performance on work. And aside from that, based on what I read on this commentary about me, it says that my work is for poor quality and always needs supervision. Honestly, when I read the report on that, when I read my appraisal reports, I was immediately not happy. It was written all over my face that I was not happy. And I think the decision was basically unfair and biased. So, on the conference room, the chief might tells me that I should write on the appraisal reports my comments and just wrote in my signature, or more like acceptance of the appraisal report. I told my chief officer that I am not gonna sign my appraisal report, and I disagree on his comments about my grade or my performance. So of course, things escalated from starting from that part. But the thing here is that I've already said I am not happy on the appraisal report that that was shown to me by the chief mate. And I have my rights as a seafarer, and I am invoking my rights as a seafarer not to sign those reports because, one, I did not agree on it, and I think that the reports or the appraisal reports were unfair, or in some cases, or not exactly in some cases, all of it is unfair and not true. Now, that's the things. Obviously, he was not happy. I was not happy, but I did not go to further. Let's just say I did not try to have a violent reaction as much as possible. I just simply turned down the offer that I should sign the paper, and I said to right in front of my chief officer, the Ukrainian chief officer, that I will not sign it. He may, say whatever he wanted to say, but I will not sign those papers. And of course, it did, like I said, it did not escalate, or it did not went well, and he was starting to threaten me, making all sorts of threats. He even mentions that if you have, this is the words coming up on his mouth. He mentioned that if you think you have a relatives on the company, those relatives of yours will not save you from this report. That's what he said, word per word. First off, I would just like to say that I do not have relatives working on the company because one, I came on the company by my sheer strength and sheer skill alone. I do not need those kinds of connections. Second of all, I am waiving my seafarer's rights. There is a clause in the seafarer's rights that the seafarer has the right to accept or not to accept the appraisal report, whether it's favorable or not. The seafarer has the sole jurisdiction to appraise, not exactly appraise, sign in on the appraisal reports. And you cannot be coerced, bullied, or say blackmailed in signing those reports. And on my case, I said it clearly and I made it clear that I am not in agreement with his appraisal reports. So there, that's how it went. Of course, the chief mate was of course making a lot of threats. He says to me that if I did not sign, or let's just say he was saying that I do not have, he just said it right in front of me that I do not have the rights not to sign those papers. Well, I would just like to beg and pardon him that since when. I would just like to emphasize that I knew my rights. You cannot intimidate me. You can do whatever you want. You can do all the weird play that you want to play. But my point still stands. I have my rights and I will not sign that appraisal report. Sorry. Sorry. It's just things have let's just say things haven't calmed down yet a bit because this happened quite a few hours ago and I am still, let's just say, upset on what happened, on how the conference or how it turned out. And honestly, I was, quite hopeful that in some ways I would try to talk my way out of it. But unfortunately, this Ukrainian chief mate forced my hand not to make any offending comments. But anyway, that's the thing. I have my rights. I am already saying that I will not sign those appraisal reports. So he can keep it, put it up, write everything he wants to say, whatever he wants, do it. But I will not sign those reports. Even if I have to explain myself on the company, I will have to. That will be no problem. I can explain myself to the company. But first of all, I will not be bullied, intimidated, or coerced by a Ukrainian chief officer just because he has a very disapproving opinion on my work. And quite frankly, I've been on this business for about 15 years now, and this is the first time that I have to make an argument and argue my case that the decision made on my appraisal reports was unfair and biased. Honestly, I have my rights, and I know my rights as as a worker on this ship. Anyway, that's what happens. He could try to intimidate me. He even said that I will cause trouble, something like that. He even mentions that he will have to call the captain for that. But quite frankly, I was not intimidated on any of his words that he was saying. I knew my rights well, and that's it. You cannot bully or intimidate me. It's just a sign that I'm just gonna say this on record, that it's just a sign that there are such people here in the maritime that will have to resort on those kinds of scummy tactics. Honestly, I do not agree 100% on his decision and his remarks on the appraisal report. And I will have to repeat it, even if I have to repeat it 1,000 times, that I will not sign those papers. Period. So that's how it went. And up to now, I am still, I don't know. Probably I'm still waiting for the captain's announcement if he will try to escalate that, and I am quite prepared in case he escalates it. And that's no problem. If I have to explain myself right in front of the ship's captain, then so be it. That will not be a problem in me. I am just making a fact, and I am just making a point that I cannot allow, or I will not sign those appraisal reports. Just for information, of course, those appraisal reports reports are very important for a Filipino merchant marine. Those reports could mean in some cases life and death on your work. And by signing that, if for example, like on my case, if I signed that appraisal reports, I am just basically signing in with my own death warrant. In other words, I will be kicked out of the company if that was the case. But like I said it right in front of it. I already said it out loud that I will not sign it, and I do not agree and do not consent in any way. So there. He can say whatever he wants to say, fine by it. If I have to explain myself to the company, then so be it. But I will not sign I will not be coerced in signing that form. And quite frankly, it's about time I try to show some balls in my decision. It's about time I show some backbone over it. As much as possible, I try to avoid conflict with my Ukrainian Chief Officer. I try to avoid any arguments. I try to smile even though he's already insulting me multiple times on the workplace. He's already picking up, I don't know, a lot of stuff, a lot of things just to, of course, just to put on something else as the report. He's kind of, picking up a fight on the crew. And on my case, I try to avoid it, but it's totally unavoidable at this point. And I don't know. I'm just I'm just saying this on the blog that all my respect towards the Ukrainian Chief Officer has evaporated. A few days ago, maybe just yesterday to 48 hours ago, even though he still criticized me, in some cases insult me, I still have my respects for him. But on what happened a few hours ago, that he's already trying to file a report against me on the company that we're both working with, well, that's way below the belt. I cannot totally accept it. It's just totally, well, there's a term in Tagalog, we call it, what do you call this? Totally, it's called in Tagalog term, pambabalasubas. That's it. And, yeah, I just totally lost all my respect with that person on how the way, what happened there. It's just, that's too much. That's barbarism. That's, I don't know. It just goes against my morals, to be honest. As a worker here on board the ship, as a merchant marine, it goes against my morals. Well, anyway, that's how it went on this, on that little well, that's how it went on my conversation in the conference room with the chief officer about the appraisal reports. And side note, a few hours ago I just found out that I was not the only crew who refused to sign in on the appraisal reports. Last I heard, pumpman also refused, or our pumpman here, a Filipino pumpman, also refused to sign the reports, also given with the same reasons that I have. So basically, that's almost two people now disagreeing with his comments. And quite frankly, I find it, I don't know. It's just that Ukrainian chief mate has some problems with the attitude, to be honest. And I don't know. But I've already noticed it a couple of days ago that he was already bullying and harassing me. I just tried to displace it, and I tried to, well, dismiss it, his bullying and harassment a couple of weeks ago. It already started for almost more than 2 months now that he's bullying and harassing me, but I just tried to dismiss it just for the sake of getting along and have some peace working on board. But right now, what happened right now, or what he wrote against me on that appraisal report, it's something that I cannot agree upon, and I find it distasteful. I don't know, I just didn't like it. Unfortunately, I do not have a copy of my appraisal report right now, but I would really like to have one, to be honest, just to show it here on the social media on what he wrote. At least I could show it word per word on what he wrote against me. As a Filipino merchant marine, appraisal reports is very important, especially if it goes favorably or not, because in some cases it depends, your employment as a merchant marine depends on it. There are some companies that if they do not have a favorable appraisal reports on the merchant mariner, they will just simply cut us off and say refuse to hire us. It's the same thing. So I am very critical about it because I just find it unfair and biased. I try to have a long patience with my Ukrainian Chief Officer, to be honest, because sometimes he may have some issues about it in his personal life that is affecting on his on his professional life. But I don't know. I can't. I don't know. At this point, I'm just kind of dismayed and disappointed on how the way he kind of treated me right now. Yeah, okay, I get it. He may have problems with his professional life, but the thing here is that my problem here is not personal life. If I have any problems, it will be on my private life, not professional life. On his case, it seems that his problems is more on the professional life. So anyway, that's the thing. It's just kind of dismaying, and up to now, I'll be honest, my respect for that person has totally evaporated, and I am not in the mood of talking to him or having a word with him at any moment. In fact, I was so furious when I left the room that I am starting to have thoughts to sabotage his luggage. There's an old saying in the Philippines that or there's an old thing in the Philippines that if you've been a very, very bad person as a merchant marine, your crew will definitely put something nasty on your luggage, like sabotage your luggage, put a super glue in it, something like that. And on this case, I tried to make myself as much as possible reasonable with that Ukrainian chief mate, but how the way he acted, it was basically the lowest of the low. It was really scummy, and honestly, I don't know how to say this, to be honest. I'm just kind of disappointed in general that there's this kind of types of people, that this is the kind of the kind of people like that existing in the maritime. It's just definitely so scummy and low. So there, I've already made the point. I could say a lot of things right now in Tagalog, but on my local language. But right now, as much as possible, I try to keep things, professional. After all, I'm making a blog right here. But what I can say right now is that those appraisal reports for seafarers are very important, and it is a seafarer's rights, take note, rights, to sign or not to sign with it. If you feel like you disagree on some certain things on the appraisal reports, then do not sign it. You have your rights as a seafarer or a merchant marine not to sign those reports. And it is mandated by international law as far as I'm concerned. So, yeah, you cannot coerce, bully, blackmail, or even harass the person just to sign it. We are not military. We are in a civilian type of industry. So that kind of conduct that the Ukrainian Chief Officer shown a few hours ago I did not sit well on me. And to be honest, I just think that he's the lowest of the low right now, because he's resorting to underhanded tactics just to, get things his way. And I don't know. I just find it, I just find it scummy. And a person who uses that kind of tactics is the lowest of the low. I just find him trashy with this guy. So anyway, I guess that will be all for now on my vlog journal right now. I probably have to say this in Tagalog just to make it clear. So just to fully express myself. So anyway, bye for now, and I guess have a great day, everyone. And of course, I have to try to calm my nerves right now.